Everybody, good evening. Are you ready to save OSAP? I love this. Good evening, friends. My name is Alexa Gilmore. I am the MPP for Parkdale High Park, where you find yourself tonight. And you could have been anywhere else, and you are here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I gotta say, Parkdale High Park has my heart, and I have been living in and out of this riding since I was 7. I am the 5th generation Parkdale High Parkian, and even so, this land, long before my ancestors arrived here, long before the Irish, Scottish, British, beaucoup plus avant le français, cet territoire était le territoire des Premières Nations, de Huron-Wendat, de Petun, ainsi du Sénéca, et plus récemment du Mississauga, du rivière Credit. Et cet traité était entré avec les Iroquois, les Ojibwés et les nations alliées qui ont gouverné pour partager et préserver le territoire de tous les bords du lac. And even as we come into this place, we are mindful of broken treaties, of the need for truth and reconciliation. Even as we enter into this conversation about OSAP, we know that these cuts, because of colonialism, will disproportionately affect Indigenous individuals, newcomers, racialized people living in poverty. This is a true injustice on a land that knows many injustices. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. You could have been anywhere else tonight, but thanks to Doug Ford, we are all here. We are all here, and we are not going anywhere. That's right. Listen, I gotta tell you, we didn't even know where to put the event because the growth, the movement kept growing. First, we had a few people. Okay, we'd have a little small room. Then we had more. Okay, we'll do that town hall. Okay, we had more. And now, look at us taking up this entire town hall. And there's folks online that will see this later. So I am amazed, but not entirely surprised. Just yesterday, not even a kilometer or two from here, the students at Runnymede Collegiate walked out for OSAP. Yeah. And students all over are rising up. And so tonight we are gathering with students, with the union movement, with the NDP. We are all one, ready to say no to the OSAP cuts. And we are not alone. We are also together with 2 incredible school trustees. I hope you'll give it up for Deborah Williams and Debbie King, trustee for Parkdale High Park, right here. Yeah. And tonight's going to go like this. You're going to hear from some incredible students. We're going to have a chance for other people to talk. And then we're going to gather in groups where we're going to take action. This night's not going to end with just a lot of talk. It's going to end with some doing. It's going to end with a pathway to victory for those of us who want to save OSAP. Are you guys with me? Are you guys with me? Amazing. So our first speaker tonight is Rowan Habib, and I'm going to invite you on up, and can you give a little bit about where you're from and who you are, and then go right away.
Thank you, Alexa. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm going to need a little bit more. How are we doing tonight? Are we ready to save OSAP? Are we ready to say hands off our education? My name is Rowan Habib. I have the great privilege and honor of being the Executive Director of the Canadian Federation of Students Ontario. Hell yeah. The CFS Ontario is the oldest and largest national and provincial students' union, and it is built, and the student movement at large is built on the principle that students have power, and united, we win. It is on that same fact, the fact that we have power and strength in numbers, that Doug Ford, in his very first term, made it clear that he was no friend to students. Immediately cut post-secondary education funding, immediately implemented the Student Choice Initiative, attacking and targeting student associations and student unions, the very life-saving services and spaces that help spaces like this to gather together. And he continues with those attacks 3 terms in, relentless. Shame. Doug Ford has a really good personality. He likes to make us think that he's undefeatable. But if you really take a look at his track record, it's loss after loss after loss, starting with students winning against him in court against the Student Choice Initiative. And Doug Ford truly does not know who he's messing with, because again, when the students unite, they win time and time and time again, and this time will in fact be no different. And so we're thankful to the Ontario NDP for coming through and showing us what a party that supports students looks like. We're thankful for this town hall and the opportunity to participate and hear more of your experiences. And we're also thankful and grounded in the very fact that tonight is, in fact, just the beginning. I will see you all on March 24th. They're going to come back March 23rd, and we're going to be at their doorstep March 24th at 1:30 p.m., showing strength in numbers, showing Doug Ford and his government that they have, in fact, messed with the wrong generation and with the wrong students. And so, because you're all going to be there, naturally, of course, yes, we're going to be there on March 24th, I'll ask you to humor me and maybe we can do a little prep. And I'm going to say, the people united, and you're going to say, the people united, the people united, the people united, and if we don't get it, and if we don't get it, and if we don't get it, I will see you folks on March 24th, because now you're ready.
I missed my cue. I'm Chris Glover. I'm the MPP for Spadina Fort York. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. It is just fantastic to be here. 2 days ago, I was in Keswick, Ontario, and 100 students from Keswick High and the Catholic school, Our Lady of Sorrows, I believe, walked out. And Global News was there, and the student organizer told me that she was part of a group of 150 high schools that organized walkouts on that day. It's absolutely amazing. Give it up for the high school kids across this province who are fighting back. And my role here tonight is to introduce somebody, because the students, raise your hand if you're a student, high school student, post-secondary student. Okay, the vast majority of you here are students. You are not alone in this fight. You are supported by the workers in your schools. You are supported by the labor movement in this province, and including the Ontario Federation of Labor. We have the president of the Ontario Federation of Labor, Laura Walton. This is an organization that involves or represents 1 million workers. There are 1 million workers standing behind the students of this province in this fight to save OSAP. So give it up for Laura Walton.
Thanks, Chris. Good evening, everyone. Okay, we're going to try this again. Good evening, everyone. All right, now I feel like I'm at home. And a thanks to Chris, and a thank you to all of you for inviting me into this space tonight. And as Chris mentioned, I am the president of the Ontario Federation of Labor. We represent 54 unions and over 1 million workers in the province of Ontario, in the private sector, in the public sector, and in trades. And you know, yesterday morning, I got on a bus, went out to Cambridge, where I joined nurses who were fighting because Doug Ford is attacking healthcare. I know a little bit about this government attacking because about 4 years ago, this government attacked the 55,000 workers that I represented at the time at the Ontario School Board Council of Unions. And they tried to tell me and our 55,000 education workers in your schools that we no longer would have the right to strike, that we would have a forced collective agreement, that we should take peanuts as a wage increase. And we said hell to the no, and we went on strike anyways. So I stand here before you today. You're right. He attacks education. He attacks healthcare. He attacks basically anyone who doesn't come to one of his stag and does. Yes. Right? Can we admit that? Yes. Because Doug Ford thinks you're dumb. He thinks you're stupid. But we're not dumb. As a matter of fact, we are so much smarter than Doug Ford. And that's why we are going to join together. Workers, this is a worker issue. This is a student issue. This is a community issue. But I have another little chant that we're going to do. When we fight, what do we get? We win. When we fight, when we fight, when we fight, this isn't going to be something we take sitting down. Mr. Ford, if you want to attack OSAP, if you want to attack education, if you want to attack the very things that make us Ontario, we're all going to fight. And you're darn right, we will shut it down. I'm also going to say this. I'm speaking to the converted in this room. As New Democrats, we know what we need to do. Right? As New Democrats, we know that there is only one party that's standing behind us, making sure that we're fighting for this. But what I need you to do is go out into your communities, and you need to bring this message with you. Right? Every single coffee shop, every single restaurant, every single place that you are, you need to talk about this, and you need to talk about how Marit Stiles and the Ontario NDP, they're the ones fighting for our communities. They are the ones fighting for students. They are the ones fighting to protect OSAP. It's definitely not Doug, and it's definitely not the PC party. Thank you.
Laura Walton, give it up. Hey folks, I'm Kristen Wong-Tam, the MPP for Toronto Centre. It's so good to be here with all of you and those who are watching online. Thank you. This is clearly a movement that is not going to slow down anytime soon. And it's like this big snowball that just keeps rolling down and rolling down. It gets so big that it takes everything in its way. And that includes Doug Ford. I have the distinct honor of introducing our next speaker. This remarkable, remarkable person is a high school student. And this person is organizing and speaking up because they know that it's important that they are not silent when someone is kicking students. And I know that you are going to be giving him a big round of applause. This is a student who has risen up, spoken up, and is not slowing down anytime soon. He's also a student trustee with the TDSB. He's also an organizer with the Ontario NDP Toronto Centre Riding Association and executive. Give it up for Amanta Mullins.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Student Senate, not student trustee, but I did run. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, because as young people of today, we're faced with a grim and complex reality, one that often contradicts our hopes and dreams for the future. Today we are here to spread awareness about the changes to the Ontario Student Assistance Program at a time when rising youth unemployment is a growing concern on top of 1,000,001 other things going on. Issues that cause increased barriers to accessing education directly affect our quality of life. This is about more than students as individuals. This will be felt by our parents, grandparents, and future children who we will be taking care of one day. Access to education without the weight of crushing student loan debt can be the difference for generations. More often than not, post-secondary education directly dictates our career path for those of us who aren't Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. Those careers and salaries determine how many bedrooms your future home may have, which is why we must understand the future is now. In a future where public healthcare becomes unreliable or privatized, that same salary determines if you can afford things like antibiotics, but regardless, you will be paying the taxes. So we might as well have reliable healthcare and reliable access to education. In 1983, the father of what we know as public healthcare today, Tommy Douglas, spoke about saving Medicare from subtle strangulation. Strangulation? Yeah. We must now save our education from not so subtle privatization. There's a damning misconception that young people don't want to contribute meaningfully to society. And there is shame on anyone who tells this lie. So when they make it seem like young people are sitting crisscross applesauce, hat in hand, waiting for a handout, I would tell anybody, take a trip to a food bank, go to a youth drop-in, go talk to people, like for more than a photo op, and that will help shape your perspective. At the end of the day, the fact remains that now is not the time to suddenly change the script on young people. All throughout elementary school, young people are fed the importance of high school and getting the good grades. In high school, they tell us we need the good grades to get into the universities. Well, what do we do in the universities? We go, we study, and we work hard. Well, you know what? That's very expensive. In a future with higher tuition and fewer grants, the limit on your credit card is what dictates your immediate future. Many of us have watched as our families struggle to keep food in the fridge and pay the bills on time. We are the generation that faced an unprecedented pandemic during COVID-19. And you know what? It did a lot of harm, but it made us more resilient and it made us more adaptable because we are the legacies that our grandparents made sacrifices for. That is why we organize. That is why right now we say save OSAP, and that is why we joined the NDP. And that is why we support Marit Stiles. The science, technology, engineering, and math degrees that we love and the PhDs that make the world run cost tens of thousands of dollars while consuming time that isn't spent working for a depressing paycheck. That is why we love OSAP grants. I can tell you for free right now that the majority of students in Ontario work a lot harder than the people that have things to say about us. And so it's really insulting for a politician in a fancy tailored suit to tell students to get off their butts and find jobs. As someone who's heard earfuls from young people who are struggling to find employment, it's absolutely outrageous. Young Canadians are worth more than the short end of the stick. There should be more transparency and negotiations. Throw us a bone. 60% grants and 40% loans. Take it from the mega spa budget. So, as I come to a close, I want to remind a lot of the young adults and middle-aged voters that the PSWs and nursing students of today may be seeing you, and it may be your bedpan that's full because of staffing ratios and burnout. As unfortunate as that may be, we're not here to spread negativity here today. We've shown up here today to ask the provincial and federal government to consider meeting the students where they're at and funding OSAP. We already have a tremendously unfortunate likelihood of finding ourselves in debt. We do not need anything more going against us. And that's why I'm here today, standing with everybody here. That is why I'm honored to introduce someone that's been fighting for education since they were a school board trustee. And you know what? Some would say that, the person that's making all these cuts, the premier, is a little scared of this person. Some would describe them as Doug Ford's biggest op. So please join me in welcoming Marit Stiles, the leader of Ontario's NDP. Let's go, Marit.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Amante. How's everybody feeling this evening? Are we ready to fight for OSAP? Darn right we are. Look, I'm just going to say a very few words, because what I want to do tonight is I want to hear from you. Yeah, so I am the leader of the official opposition at Queen's Park. And, yeah, thanks. And I want to be clear about what that means, because a lot of people say, well, what is that? Well, what it means is that I get to sit right across from Doug Ford when the legislature's in session, and I get to ask him the questions that everybody else wishes they could ask, right? Now, he doesn't necessarily answer those questions, but I get to ask them. And the other thing I get to do, along with my colleagues that are here tonight, like Chris and Tom and Alexa and Jessica and Kristen, what we get to do is we get to bring forward bills and motions, and we get to challenge the government to do better every day, okay? And I want you to remember that, because we're going to get back to that in a minute. But the other great thing that I get to do, and I got to tell you, it is such a privilege to be able to do what I do. I get to go all across this province. Just in the last week, I've been in Ottawa, and I've been up to Thunder Bay and Sault Ste. Marie and Wawa, and I've been, just in the last few weeks, out to the southwest to Windsor. I was here all over the GTA. I was at the rally at Queen's Park last week. Who else was there? Were you there? Yeah, I know. I recognize so many of you. But what I wanted to tell you is what I've been hearing from students, from their families, from a lot of people out there is they're scared. I'm hearing from high school students who are having to turn down offers and change their whole future plan, right? And I'm also hearing that from university and college students. I've met with a lot of them. I've had some roundtables around the province. I've heard this many times. I've heard from so many of you about all of the costs you're already struggling with, like rent and food and transit and everything. And I've heard from a lot of families who are also really scared about what this means for their children, their grandchildren. So the way I look at it is, we have to fight, and we have to win this, okay? We have to fight, and we have to win. And the way that we do that is we make it impossible for them to ignore you, right? Impossible for them to ignore the reality that you are living in. And the way we do that is we collect your stories. We listen to you, and we bring all of those voices back to Queen's Park in the legislature, on the steps of Queen's Park, and we do it again and again and again until they change it back, right? So when I get to go back to Queen's Park on March 23rd, I want to ask him some questions from all of you, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring forward a motion, and I'm going to say, we are going to restore OSAP right now, and I'm going to get them to vote on it. I'm going to give them a chance to do the right thing right away, okay? And let me tell you, when we win that, then we go back and we fight to get them to remove the interest on those loans, okay? And we get them to invest in our post-secondary institutions, right? But the point of this is, we cannot do it alone. If there's anything that I've learned from the fights that we've led and we've won, like fighting to end the cuts to the Greenbelt, the carving up of the Greenbelt, right? We organized and we won, okay? Or when they went after the education workers, we organized and we won, right? What I want you to understand most of all is you mustn't give up hope. And I think that's why you're all here today, because you believe that we can do better and that we can get them to reverse this, right? That's why you're here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a microphone. I don't know who's got it. A couple people. Oh, we got one over here, and we got one over here. And we're going to go around, and you can tell us a little bit about what your experience is, what your concerns are, what your reality is, and what these cuts, most importantly, will mean for you, okay? And try to keep it brief because we want to get through as many people as we can. And then the second thing, after that, we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about some actions we can take. And if you look around the room, there's a bunch of tables set up, okay? And each one of those tables is an action you can take, whether it's getting involved with your student union and the actions that they're embarking on, or helping to set up a campus club or get involved in a campus club, petitions, sending emails and letters to MPPs in the Conservative Party because they need to hear from you. And they need to hear from you multiple times, okay? So we're gonna come out of here with actions that we can take, because that's what I'm hearing from you, is you want less talk, more action, right? Okay, so first of all, let's hear some stories. So again, we can bring those stories back to Queen's Park, and with that, I'm gonna turn the mic over here.
Hi guys. My name is Fuad. I'm a fourth year at U of T, and I have the privilege of being in a relatively big university, so there are lots of opportunities to get grants and scholarships through the university. But I've also had the pleasure of being on MVP Glover's Youth Council, and I've heard from other people from other universities, some smaller universities, who have really suffered because not only those universities unable to give them their scholarships that they need, but the government has now turned their backs on them. And I've also advocated with the TTC riders, so I have a lot of experience with transit advocacy. And Ford has not been kind to transit either. He's boasting this new line that we're probably never going to see. Maybe our grandkids will enjoy it. But and I'm looking forward to getting involved. And thank you so much for organizing this, all of the MPPs and all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Right on. Over here.
I'm here tonight because I'm angry. I usually consider myself a mellow person, but it's been one thing after another with this guy. So I was a student, I recently graduated, and without OSAP, I wouldn't have been able to have the opportunity I did. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the job I have today. And my brother is about to start his education, and I'm thinking, we can't get him through without OSAP. I don't want him to have an enormous debt if OSAP is still around, to any capacity by that point. And I have friends who are still studying who are now thinking, gosh, will I make it through the year with with the tuition cap being gone? So I'm here for people who for other people's future, for the person I was last year, for people who will have their social ability to climb the social ladder absolutely nuked because of this guy. Because he keeps cutting healthcare, and I studied public health. I'm passionate about this, and I have this radical idea. There's this one hill I'm willing to die on, which is that education should be accessible to everybody. Whether it's basic education, whether it's post-secondary education, everybody should have the chance to become who they want and be able to have access to basic human needs. That's why I'm here today.
Thank you. Thank you. What was your name?
Alexandra.
Nice to meet you. Hey, how many of you here are worried about your siblings or friends? Yeah, me too. All right, over here, Amadeus. Yep.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Raponi. Thank you so much for hosting this. I am today a professional engineer who's been able to have a really fruitful career in STEM, even as a queer woman of color. But when I was 16 years old, I had a conversation with my mom and my sister, and I said, there's no way in hell I'm going to university. It's way too expensive. And they had to talk me into the concept of taking OSAP and accepting the concept of student loans. And thankfully, they were very convincing. Women always are. We love them. So thankfully, I was able to go through this path for myself. And it's completely transformed my life. And a decade out of university, I am able to be in a financially stable situation that I would not have been in otherwise without the schooling that I did in an engineering and business degree. So when I think about why this is so critically important, it's because people like me need to have the opportunity to access education, to be able to enter spaces that they would not otherwise be permitted access to, and have that seat at the table. So I'm very, very concerned about what this is going to do for other people like me and students today. And I was so excited. I was walking just past High Park. I'm another, I live in Parkdale High Park. And I was just walking down the street, and a bunch of students were out there protesting. High school students, taking time out of their day. It was so inspiring to see. So thank you to all the students, especially high school students who know that they're up and coming into this situation, who are already leveraging their voices. It's so important. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Caitlin down there. Yep.
Hi, everyone. I wrote a little speech. So I'm proud to serve as a senator at large at TMU, and I'm a class rep at TMAT's union as well. I'm a queer Indigenous woman and racial person and a caregiver. These identities, many of my fellow peers and students that have, understand the complexity of hardship. It is the reality of students nowadays. I'm here to support the students and those who support us, but that are affected by the attacks on OSAP. When access to education is threatened, it's low-income families, students, and marginalized communities who are hit first and the hardest. Keeping our communities undereducated has been long used as a political tool to limit opportunities and silent voices. But we are here to say no. We deserve accessible education. We deserve to thrive, not just survive, and refuse to accept policies that push students out of classrooms into uncertainty. We have voices, we have power, and we are the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Over here. Wait a minute, where's Amadeus? Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Hey everybody, I'm so happy that we're all here today. I think of Quebec in 2012, where you saw one of the most powerful movements in Canadian history led by the students. But that movement would not have been successful if it wasn't for the solidarity that the labor movement showed to the students in 2012. That's how they brought down the government. That's how they defeated the cuts. And I think that's exactly what's being prepared here today. Doug Ford says there's no money for public services. I just want to highlight some statistics. Just last year in 2025, Doug Ford gave a corporate handout of $10 billion to corporations, just free money. $5 billion to Stellantis. How did they repay us? They cut 3,000 jobs in Ontario, and now they're packing up and going to the States. Another $2.5 billion to Honda. These are billion-dollar multinational companies. They don't need our taxpayer dollars. But Doug Ford works for these people. He does not work for the working-class families in Ontario. I just want to end on a brief point. How do we fight back? I mentioned 2012. I think that's an exact model that we can use here in Ontario. It's our turn. That in 2012, it took a couple of years of planning and organizing, but the students did not give up, and they were able to bring down the government of Jean Charest. I think that has already begun here in Ontario. What would be amazing is if we got a public endorsement for the idea of a student strike from the officials out from the CFS today, from the Ontario NDP. There's already thousands of students that have signed on to the petition for a student strike, and if they see a bold leadership from their student and labor leaders, I think we can bring down Doug Ford. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Caitlin, over there, over that way.
Hi everyone, my name is Marianne McMullen. I met Doug Ford actually 7 years ago. And Doug, if you are listening to this message, I remember you telling me if I ever need a favor, that you would answer me and you would call on it. So I'm asking you today, as someone who has been struggling, and I'm part of the community and attached to care, and I've been part of the Ontario Health team since 2021, and I have dedicated 5 years of my life to support change for people in the community. And I'm asking you, Doug, please just take a second and look around this room and listen to the people around the world who are around Ontario who actually need their OSAP, because not let alone was I doing IT, I actually changed my career and I'm actually studying to become a nurse. So I got accepted, thank you, thank you, thank you. I got accepted into university and now I'm dealing with this whole OSAP situation. I'm unemployed, I'm really, I love working, I can get a job, it's not a problem, but because of the difference I want to make in my community, it's tremendous to me. So if you need me at the legislative to speak to Doug and remind him of the favor, I'm there, I got you, girl.
Right. We're going there. We're going to do it. And by the way, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, I'm looking for Amadeus. He's got somebody over here. Okay.
Hi, my name's Empress. I'm a grade 12 high school student. And I was really excited to start my future, to go to university or college to become a registered nurse and just start my future, just like the rest of us here. But now Doug Ford, he's basically making that impossible for the rest of us because university tuition is very expensive, like $7,000, and over time that just adds up and it's really unfair. And yeah, I'm mad just like the rest of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Empress. Amadeus, do you have somebody over? Oh no, who is Caitlin? Where's Caitlin? There she is.
Hi, I'm Vista, and I'm a U of T student in my second year. And I am personally going to be very deeply affected by these cuts to OSAP because my family and we rely on these cuts to fund our education and to fund our future. I hope to be a lawyer someday, but I obviously have to study a lot and have to pay a lot, right? So I'm hoping that by, saving OSAP, that I can continue my education and say to Doug Ford, you want us to work for Ontario, so then help us work for Ontario by funding our education, And I want to thank you today for hosting this town hall, bringing us all together so that we can show, real support and what real support for students and workers and marginalized people looks like, as a party. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Some wise words there. All right. Amadeus, you've got somebody here?
Hi, my name is Amir, and I'm the president of University of Toronto Graduate Students Union. I'm here to represent over 22,000 graduate students at U of T. Over half of our membership, that's 11,000 students, rely on OSAP. These are your future social workers, your future teachers, your future policy analysts, your future public health researchers. Yet, none of them were consulted with these decisions. Their student unions were not consulted when the decisions were being made. Although we were not consulted, I want to make it clear that we will be involved. We will be a part of reversing the decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Caitlin over there.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Kaya. I'm a second-year community worker student at George Brown College.
Hi, Kai.
Thank you. I'm here today with my two small daughters. I'm not concerned. Thank you. I'm here today not only because I'm so upset about the OSAP cuts. They've really, really changed my life. I was able to go back to school. I was able to work towards a better future for my family while also being able to survive during this time, something that I would not have been able to do without the funding. I'm also here for my sister, who's going to be trying to continue her education next year in her final year, and this has put doubt in our minds. It's put instability in our plans. Not to mention my daughter's education, not only for when they go to university, but for all their future teachers that are going to come, all the nurses, like people have been saying, all of the professionals that surround us, that help our community succeed. So I'm just really concerned at why we're divesting so much in our education while other funds are going towards very nefarious things, and we're investing money in genocides. We're enabling arms dealerships even within our own Ontario. So why are we taking away from education and putting towards violence? It doesn't make sense. We're not here for our people.
Thank you. Yeah. Over here.
Hi. My name's Andrew, and I'm a member of the ATU. And
ATU, transit workers. We
that's
love
right.
you.
A transit worker, public sector worker who's also facing attacks from the Ford government. We're just getting a very bad contract shoved down our throats that we voted on today. So I feel like when I watch the news and I see the Instagram posts, I feel inspiration from the students who are fighting back against the attacks by the Ford government. They're fighting back against the reversals of the grants and the indebtedness that they're going to be facing. And it is true, we can reverse this, but the question is how? We need a social crisis. We need a movement that creates a crisis, a movement that unites high school students, university students, and also teachers and workers in the schools. A movement that leads to a strike of students, a strike that shuts down and brings down the Ford government. We can't do this through, going through Parliament. Okay, that's great. We'll vote on this motion to reverse the cuts, but what's really needed is a social crisis to put pressure on the Ford government. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Right over here in the front.
Hi, so my name's Brenna. I am in my final year of high school. I am in grade 12. I have already been accepted into post-secondary education. I am hoping to work in childcare in the future. I am planning on taking a 2-year ECE program. And growing up, I don't come from generational wealth. I don't have a silver spoon that has been fed by my family, unlike Doug Ford. I rely on OSAP to give me an opportunity, to help me have a future. And with these cuts, I am personally having to reconsider on if I am able to go to post-secondary next year, which absolutely breaks my heart. I have been working in a co-op at an elementary school for the past year. I've absolutely fallen in love with teaching and working with kids, and that's what I plan on doing for my future. And unfortunately, Doug Ford may be taking that away from me, which is why I am not staying silent about this. I go to Henry Street High School, and last Monday, I organized a walkout in which over 200 students walked out of class, and we all protested. We had signs, we had chants, and we said no. We are not going to accept these cuts because students are the future, and we will not stay silent while Doug Ford robs us from our education, while he robs us from opportunities, while he robs us from the chance of having a future.
I gotta tell you, that makes me super, super excited about your generation, really. Like, you're standing up, you're organizing, and you're the folks that are gonna take care of everything. But we gotta give you a shot. Okay, over here. Okay, hi.
Hi, so my name is Nervia, and I'm a graduate from Centennial College, and I just recently graduated from Athabasca University with the Bachelor of Management. So besides OSAP, there are many things that bothers me from Doug Ford. He wasted so much taxpayer monies on this stupid ad about this anti-tariff like made by Ronald Reagan. He, yes, and he also acts like he's the Prime Minister of Canada when he's not. He's just the Premier of Ontario. That's his job, and that's his responsibility. Stop acting like you're the Prime Minister when you're not. His job is to only focus on Ontario and let the federal government do his part of job.
All right, thank you. Come back here.
Oh, yeah,
Hi.
Sure. Thank you. Hi there. My name's Alex. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to every single person that is here, that is going to be on social media watching this. Thank you. I don't have a lot of time, guys. I don't have a lot of time. What I'll say first is democracy is a verb, and I'm so proud of everybody here actuating the meaning of democracy. So, guys. What I really want to say here is that I can name 5 scandals off the top of my hand of everything that Doug Ford has done, and I think that is shameful. Not just in terms of political malpractice, but what promise did you make on the campaign, and what actions are you following through on? Which is why I'm a staunch supporter of yours, because we need more people standing up, saying no, this is not how our government works. This is something we won't accept. And I'm actually well pleased that it's the students that are going to be rallying around this. Change starts with young people telling old people, this is actually how it should work. So I'm glad for it. And
thank you.
What I would like to ask is while I am so glad that you are starting a proper coalition to actually vote down this ill thought out and blatantly corrupt move from him, barring that, is there any sort of legal pathway that we can take to essentially say that there are consequences to your illegality, you know? So, IL democracy, and thank you very much.
IL democracy. Right on. Okay, I think I got the signal that we have to wrap up right there. But listen, I don't want you to think this is over, right? Because this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning. So, first of all, your point about what we can do and whether there's a way to fight this in the courts, my goodness, we will be talking to everybody and anybody, and I bet there's a whole lot of people out there who want to explore those options, let me tell you. So we know, because we've won in court before, right? And we will again. But look, I want to say this. I'm going to hand this over now, because all of you should know that none of this was done alone. We had a lot of volunteers tonight helping out, including the Ontario NDP Youth, OND. So I want to give them a big shout out for all the work they did. Our campus clubs, they're really active and they're getting really organized all around the province. And like I said, there's going to be some actions we can all take. Other ways for you to share your stories, right? Because I know I didn't get to everybody here. Other ways that we can take action. The things that we're going to need in particular to make sure that those conservatives get the message. Okay? And that means, and I'm going to let Alicia talk in a minute, but that means that, as somebody else mentioned here, we need everybody to bring a friend next time, right? To talk to your friends, to talk to your family. Right? Talk to your employers, because many of you're all working multiple jobs, I bet, right? Talk to your employers. Get them calling Doug Ford. Get your parents and your families calling Doug Ford. That's what it's going to take. And then I'm going to hand it over to Alicia, who's got some actual action she's going to guide you on. All right, here's Alicia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Marit. My name is Alicia Cabral. I also am a student. I rely on OSAP, and I, too, am hurt by these cuts. And for that and many other reasons is why I stand here as a New Democrat. And I know we're all thinking, what do we do now? And we all have that in our brains. So I am here to answer that question of what do we do? Okay, so we have set out about 5 breakout stations that you can go to learn how we organize, how we mobilize, and how we come back together to fight Doug Ford. So, if you want to learn how to write an op-ed, you go back to that projector screen, you meet with MPP Chris Glover, and Erica Wallace will be there, and that's where you learn to write an op-ed. An op-ed is an opinion piece that tells the government exactly how you feel, and you get that printed into a magazine or online or all the other ways that you can do print. If you want to learn how to canvass and Main Street, which is door knocking or talking to people while they're in the flow of their everyday lives, very fun, I love doing it. You're gonna head to the back middle of the room. You are going to meet MPP Tom Rakosovic will be back there. Amadeus will be back there. I will be back there. MPP Alexa Gilmore will be back there. And Sam Hamilton will be back there on our way. Right back there. Woo, we're excited. Okay, this is really important. Since we have so many students in this room, and I know we come from so many different campuses, if you want to learn how to organize an NDP campus club, which we need more of on our campuses, you are going to go talk to Jessica Bell, Emma Hart-Vixen, and Raymond back at this table. They're awesome, and they are gonna teach you how to set up a campus club. If you are hungry or thirsty, there are pizza and refreshments right through that door. But don't get caught up there. Let's get our pizza, and then let's go organize.
All right. So everybody, what did we learn tonight? One important thing. When we organize, we win. When we fight, we win. When we organize, we win. When we fight, we win. What are we gonna do? Right on, let's do it. Thank you all for coming out tonight.